So, for those of you who don't know about Anchor, let me tell you all about it. First of all, it's free. Anchor has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast too with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app now or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to Uncorked-N-Conversation.
This is April, and I'm here with Tracy, Linda, and Paulette as we continue the conversations. So let's jump right on in.
One of the outstanding arguments about the vaccine is with African Americans. A large part of our population is against the vaccine due to a lack of trust in the government, a lack of trust in things that we've been through in the past. The Tuskegee experience, the stories about that, where those Black men were given syphilis and left untreated to see how it would play out in their system. You know, we've got to see all of the research that is happening. Thank goodness for the technology, the technological advances. Not in a time of the Tuskegee experiment anymore. You know, I'm hoping that people can see, you know, we're past that, and we have the ability to have access to so much information, and we can see what track the research is going in, so that we can make that educated decision for ourselves.
You said educated. Some of them aren't educated.
Ooh.
You know, and it's just raw. I mean, it's real. Some of us aren't educated. Some of us won't. You know, Spike Lee said something, and Lord knows I love my folks, each and every one of us. But Spike Lee said something a long time ago. If you put something in a book,
Ooh.
Black folk won't find it.
Oh my Lord.
Because they're not going to open up the book. So again, if you say to research it, it's unfortunate. They're going to go with what they believe in, not so much what they've read, but just what someone's told them. And it breaks my heart to say this, but because we are just keeping it real, and that's all I can ever do, because we have been told. Well, see, here's the thing. And I'll
tell
just
us the thing, girl.
I'll just go back. Slavery.
Oh,
she gone way back. Go ahead.
I mean,
she went back.
You got it. You have to go. Right. You have to take it there.
You do.
And so there's the deception. And some of us have not healed from that.
Say it. Say it.
Some of us haven't healed from it. And so for those of us that have not healed from it, we still hang on to what was.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Lord knows, I just it's heartbreaking, you know, because there's something that could potentially save your life
and save the world.
You're caught up, but yet you're caught up on what was, and so you don't want to tamper with what is.
Yes.
You know, and not only that,
or to add what you're saying, no amount of guilt is going to change the past.
Amen.
I know.
Saying that we should not talk about it.
Oh, no, we have to. We have
to.
You're
going to keep on beating that horse. It's not going to change the past. It's not going to. We have to move forward. I understand some same things are happening now that happened then, but we have to deal with what's going on now, because what happened 400 years before us is still there.
Right.
What are we doing about what's happening now? That's what we have to change different. But to me, when they want to compare this to, oh, they're putting crack in the inner city. Come on now. That
who
one,
said that?
that
They was
because
comparing this
this,
to who
Oh,
said
come
that?
on now.
Bring
Okay,
Who
it.
so
said that?
we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that.
Who wait,
We're
but
gonna
who
touch on
said
that.
that?
We're
That
gonna
was a young
touch on
man
that
that I'm friends
email.
with. It
Are
was
we
a young
gonna
man.
wake that? Are we
Oh,
gonna wake that email
Let's wake it up.
up?
Let's wake it up. So just to bring
Wait. But let me just say
let her
this.
give
Let
the
me just say
background
this.
before you, let her give the background
Let,
before
yeah.
you
let me
let
just
Linda.
say. No, hang tight. Let me just say
I'm
this
hanging tight. Go ahead, girl.
about the experiment. History repeats itself if
If you
not
don't
Okay.
addressed.
pay,
I'm, I'm
if you don't know your history, it definitely will
Yeah,
repeat itself. So you have
yeah,
to educate
absolutely.
because you
yourself
didn't
on that.
correct it. You didn't correct it along
Absolutely.
on the way.
now
So
I will argue that that we have corrected it along the way, um, simply because we now have more rights than we had that many years ago. We're no longer 3/5 of a person. We have in many ways learned from
no,
our
we've
history.
never been 3/5 of a person. They just thought we were. They
But that's what
just
she's
treated
saying.
us
But that's what she's
that
saying.
way.
Right. We moved away from that mindset,
Right.
right,
but
it's here.
it's there.
All of
Yes.
And let me
and
tell you
that's what
this.
they
That's what they
into us.
believe. And
Mhm.
I read an article
Some of
not
them
too
still believe it, April.
They
And
do.
I,
that's fine.
But what we did, we changed the mindset. We got our asses out there and voted.
we
That's
did.
what
Yeah.
changes things when you get out there and vote. And you have
Right.
to not vote. You have to only not vote in the general. You have to vote in the state.
And I'm going to say this, it's not just voting. And I don't mean to say just as if I'm belittling voting, because that is huge. And I think that we created a movement that was so great during this presidential election, the most recent presidential election, that we were able to make a difference and to create change in the White House, much needed change. But it's not just voting. It is exercising all of our rights. It is being
Absolutely.
involved. It is gaining the education. It is doing the research. It is speaking up. It is challenging our legislators. And
Absolutely.
one of the
Absolutely.
things that April mentioned was, I hear a lot of the naysayers say, how is this vaccine being produced so quickly? We don't have a cure for AIDS. We don't have a cure for the common cold. How is it that this is happening so quickly? And I just want to share some information that I recently learned just with regards to the FDA. And I'm not going to get this right. I'm no scientist. However, there is a built-in process. My mother works as an adjunct professor for human services, and there's a process already in the FDA. There's already an embedded process for this very thing. No, not for COVID, but in the instance of a global pandemic, there is a process for um, fast forwarding the research and the distribution and the managing of a vaccine for something like this. And the idea is, although all of the illnesses that we've discussed, AIDS and even hepatitis, many illnesses that have killed hundreds of thousands of people, none have killed the number of people that COVID has in the short length of time that COVID has. So it was necessary to fast track. That was the word I was looking for, y'all. Fast track this vaccine to make that happen. So that's part of the reason why we've got the fast track. And secondly, what you mentioned, I think, Tracy, about the technological advances. We're not where we were when the Tuskegee experiment was happening. We're in a whole different place now. But yeah, to your points, we're able to make those educated decisions. I challenge us. And I don't just mean us on this podcast. I mean our listeners. I mean people that we talk to, people that our listeners talk to help each other become educated. I don't care if they're Black, white, women, men, a marginalized group of the environment or not, or a privileged group of the environment. We have to challenge each other to read, to research, to think differently, to be open to new perspectives. So that we can move forward, not just as Black people, not just as white people, not just even as just Americans, but globally.